Someone bumps into you, and you are the one who says sorry. You apologize for taking up space, for having an opinion, or for asking for something you need. You might even apologize for apologizing too much. On the surface, it just seems like you are being polite, maybe a little insecure. But it often goes so much deeper than that. What if I told you that saying sorry all the time is not really about courtesy? For many people, it is a pattern learned in childhood to make yourself smaller, less threatening. A survival strategy to earn your place. This nagging feeling of being a burden, of being inherently too much, is something many people struggle with. Today, we are going to talk about why you might feel responsible for everyone else's emotions and how to finally stop apologizing for simply existing. Let us see if this psychological profile sounds familiar. You move through the world feeling like you are probably an inconvenience. Your default setting is to assume you are at fault. If a project at work has a setback, your mind immediately starts listing all the ways you might have messed up. If a friend is quiet, you mentally scan every recent interaction, trying to find the moment you must have upset them. This is not just a habit. It is a state of being. This is sometimes called a preemptive apology. You say sorry before anyone has even accused you of anything. It is like you are wrapping all your words in emotional bubble wrap, hoping to soften a blow you are sure is coming. This is rooted in a kind of exhausting, anticipatory anxiety. You live in a state of relational hypervigilance, constantly scanning people's faces and moods, trying to predict the emotional weather in the room so you can prepare for the storm you are convinced your presence might cause. The inner monologue is a relentless loop of self-criticism. You rehearse conversations, dissect text messages, and interpret a period at the end of a sentence as a sign of unspoken anger. You feel like you are always in trouble, even when there is no evidence for it. This is not just about being nice. It is a full-time job managing the perceived feelings of everyone around you. A job you never signed up for, but feel pressured to perform perfectly. The cost is huge, chipping away at your self-esteem and reinforcing the belief that your needs are a burden. So why do so many of us do this? This is not some fundamental personality flaw. It is often an invisible emotional pattern that started a long time ago. Some psychological frameworks have a name for this pervasive sense of being an imposition: existential guilt. This is not the guilt you feel when you have actually done something wrong. It is a deeper feeling that your needs, your feelings, your very presence are a problem for other people. The guilt is not tied to a specific mistake. It is tied to your existence. So where does it come from? While the causes are complex and varied, for many, the seeds were planted in childhood. Imagine a kid growing up in a home where their needs were treated as an inconvenience. Maybe a caregiver was emotionally volatile, chronically stressed, or just had a low tolerance for a child's natural energy or distress. Over time, that child can learn a dangerous equation. My needs cause problems. My feelings create chaos. To stay safe and keep the peace, I have to be small. I cannot have needs. I cannot be a problem. This is one common pathway, but these patterns can also be shaped by things like social conditioning, anxiety, or cultural expectations. In these early environments, a child can develop what some psychodynamic theories call omnipotent responsibility. It is a kind of magical thinking where a child who cannot possibly grasp adult complexities concludes they are the cause of their parents' feelings. If mom is sad, it is my fault. If dad is angry, I must have caused it. This is not narcissism. It is a kid-esque, desperate attempt to find some control in a world that feels scary and unpredictable. By taking the blame, the child creates the illusion that they can also fix it. If only they could be good enough or quiet enough. That belief that you are responsible for the feelings of others can follow you right into adulthood. This kind of people-pleasing behavior closely matches what some trauma experts call the Fawn Response. You have probably heard of fight, flight, and freeze. Fawning is a fourth response where, to handle a threat, you do not fight or run. you appease. You try to please and pacify others to avoid conflict. Kids in unpredictable homes can become masters of fawning, learning that their safety depends on being helpful, agreeable, and non-threatening. Your chronic apologizing can be that fawning pattern playing out in your adult life. For those who grew up in genuinely unsafe homes, it was a brilliant and necessary strategy that kept them emotionally and sometimes physically safe. But here is the tragic irony. The coping strategy that may have protected you in the past could be limiting you now. It erodes your sense of self. When you spend your life trying to meet everyone else's needs, you can forget who you are outside of their approval. It can also attract imbalanced relationships where you are expected to do all the emotional heavy lifting. It leads to burnout, and it makes it almost impossible to set healthy boundaries. Because the act of saying no can feel like a dangerous act of aggression. So, how do you start to change this? The first step is a radical reframe. Say this to yourself and really let it sink in. You are not broken. Your apology reflex is not a character flaw. It is a learned behavior, and you can learn to put it down. One of the most powerful and practical tools is to consciously replace unnecessary apologies with expressions of gratitude. This simple switch can change the entire dynamic. It moves the focus from your perceived failure to the other person's kindness. Instead of, "Sorry I am late," try, "Thank you for waiting for me." Instead of, "Sorry for rambling," say, "Thank you for listening." Instead of, "Sorry to bother you," try, "Thanks for your help with this." Feel the difference. An apology puts you in a one-down position, reinforcing your guilt. Gratitude creates connection and acknowledges generosity, empowering both of you. This is not about never apologizing. Genuine apologies for actual mistakes are vital. It is about getting rid of the reflexive sorries that come from the false belief that you are an inconvenience. Beyond that is the deeper work, building your tolerance for taking up space. This means starting to believe you have a right to exist, to have needs, and to set boundaries without apologizing for them. This will feel incredibly uncomfortable at first. Your nervous system, conditioned to see self-assertion as dangerous, will sound the alarm. The work is to sit with that discomfort and teach your body, little by little, that you are safe. Therapy can be profoundly helpful here. Cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT, can help you challenge the automatic negative thoughts that fuel this guilt. Other approaches like acceptance and commitment therapy, schema therapy, or trauma-focused therapies can also help regulate the nervous system and heal deep-seated patterns. But the journey starts with awareness. It starts with catching that next "I am sorry," pausing and asking yourself, is an apology actually needed here, or am I just trying to make myself smaller? This is a journey many of us are on, to quiet work of unlearning a lifetime of conditioning. I would love to hear from you. What is one thing you constantly apologize for that you know is not really your fault? Share it in the comments. I think you will quickly see you are not alone in this. And if this message resonates, consider subscribing for more content that helps decode the patterns that hold us back. The need to apologize for who you are is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign of what you have survived. You may have learned to make yourself small to feel safe. You may have learned to manage the emotions of others because you felt responsible for them. But that responsibility was never yours to carry. Your apology was a shield. You may not need it anymore. It is time to put it down, stand up straight, and finally, unapologetically, take up your space in the world. You have earned that right simply by being